Welcome in. This is week 3 of our review of the Chattown Fantasy Football League. I'm just going to continue without my brother, who seems to he likes to drop in and out every once in a while. It might go faster, actually. We might get this thing knocked out in 30 minutes if he doesn't show back up. In case y'all didn't notice, reception is so bad where my brother is. And when I say reception, I mean internet connection, because it's not reception at all. That we have, if you notice, the two different earpieces, and if you notice Nick's two different earpieces, it's because we're FaceTiming and we're on a podcast. You know, we hitting both sides here because
we're trying to figure out how to figure something out. We're trying to figure out how to get it set up in such a way. I really do not know what the hell is going on.
And by we, he means him, because I'm just here for the ride, you know. Me showing up at 11:45 at night is as good as it gets for him.
Yeah. All right, week 3 breakdown of the matches. So, according to what I got, back in the hot seat, beat Schrute Farms 99.6 to 83.24. Scott's Tots lost to the Leprechauns 71.8 to 85.2. Better than Scott, which is seeming to be more and more the case, beat Lamarvel Universe 110.7 to 102.5. Just Lamarvel was just having a down day, I guess. London Silly Nannies beat Biggest Loser 87.9 to 82.4. Heartbeat beat Let's Ride 117.8 to 69.4. Ouch. The Waterboys beat Don't Take the Bateman and got in the win column. 106 to 81.9. Some bad stuff. So, you want to give them the current standings?
Yes. So in last place, we're going to go backwards here because it sounds better. In last place, we have Schrute Farms, who is 0-3. Tied for last place is Scott's Tots. Second to last place, we have a three running tie. Well, technically third to last place, but I was saying second to last because they're tied for last. You know what I mean? I guess with the point breakdown, they're not tied for last. Anyways, it goes Schrute Farms is last. Scott's Tots is next. I go by 0-3. Followed by the Waterboys, who I lost to. 9th place, we have Biggest Loser. 8th place, we have Better Than Scott. Let's Ride, 7th place. The Leprechauns, 6th. London Silly Nannies, 5th. Don't Take the Bateman, moi, 4th. Back in the Hot Seat, Nick, 3rd. Lamarvel Universe, 2nd. Heartbeat undefeated at 3-0, number 1. Heartbeat has used $9 of his FAAB. Lamarvel Universe has either used 0. Back in the Hot Seat, $8. Don't Take the Bait, $40. Let's see. London Silly Nannies, Leprechauns, Let's Ride. I'll have $100 left. Better Than Scott. It's used $16. Biggest Losers used $5. Scott's Tots came in second with using $32 for his FAAB when purchasing waivers.
So, yeah, biggest blowout this week was Heartbeat over Let's Ride with a 48.4 point difference.
I'm not going to lie. I went back to make sure Let's Ride even started a full lineup, you know, like if you're losing that much. But he didn't. Like, he left. Dalton Schultz was out.
Well, the thing is like I'm not sure if Ryan is just kind of like sitting out on this one. Maybe because of the comments that I made last week, he was, you know, so disheartened by like sitting when he sat his entire team the last game of the season last year. But the thing is, like, I don't know. I think either he may just have other things going on. Like, that could very easily be the case. The closest win difference this week was London Silly Nannies over the Biggest Loser. Just a difference of 5.4. Now for the fun part. Useful points on the bench. And a special shout out to Heartbeat, Trent. Thank you for showing me the useful tool of Stat Tracker. Guys, if you get in and you look at Stat Tracker, if you see Stat Tracker in the Yahoo League, then just know that that's where you can get your information about optimal lineups and all that fun stuff. There's actually some really good stuff in there. Anyway, let's get into it. So I apparently am the one who left the most points on my bench by leaving Devonta Smith and Alan Lazard on my bench over Gabe Davis and Allen Robinson. Now, I will say this. So I left 30.9 points on the bench. I will say this. I'm not going to put in any of those two over Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis to me is just too valuable. Even though like he was just coming back from injury, it's fine. Allen Robinson, on the other hand, yeah, I probably should have put Devonta Smith in over him for sure. But Schrute Farms left 15.84 points on the bench. He should have started Justin Herbert, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Cam Akers over Tua Tagovailoa, Jahan Dotson, and George Kittle. Now, really quick, Schrute Farms, Cody, listen up. I don't know why you're starting George Kittle in your flex spot. Like, I don't understand why you've got two tight ends. I don't think tight ends are so crappy. You should not be starting them in your flex spot at all, ever, never, ever, ever, ever. Like, you would have been better starting Cam Akers or Juju Smith-Schuster. I think that's a legitimate thing. Now, regardless, there's no way that you could have beaten me with what was left on your bench. The Leprechauns had 12 points left on the bench. Should have started Derek Carr, Rashad Penny, and Robert Woods over Kyler Murray, A.J. Dillon, and Zach Ertz. Now, really quick, I would have started Kyler Murray and A.J. Dillon over the other guys. But Zach Ertz, again, this is going back to this. Why in the world are you starting two tight ends? Just start one tight end and then put somebody better on I mean, Rashad Penny would have been a better choice to put on your flex. Robert Woods. I know Robert Woods hasn't been doing much, but clearly, like, he would have been a better choice because just tight ends suck. Don't use them as your flex, period. Unless you've got Mark Andrews and Kyle Pitts. Yeah, if it's not, that's the thing. If it's not Mark Andrews and Travis Kelce, don't start anybody in your tight end thing for your flex. Don't do that. That's a terrible decision. Okay, just letting you guys know. Scott's Tots left 20 points on his bench. He should have started Tom Brady, Greg Dortch, and Chase Edmonds over Jared Goff, Brandon Cooks, and Joe Mixon. Now, really quick, I wouldn't have started.
So I'm gonna jump in here. In my ESPN league, I have Tom Brady. I have Chase Edmonds. They both were sitting on my bench too. I think that one I actually had Jared Goff started as well. Justin Jefferson in that league. So again, I agree. I would never have started them with how badly they've all been playing.
So I can understand the reasoning behind it for sure. And like the way that Scott started it, I don't blame him for doing it the way that he did it. I mean, I would have started Brandon Cooks over Greg Dortch. I would have started Joe Mixon over everybody. Better than Scott. Left 2.7 points on the bench, so not too bad. Travis Etienne had a little bit more than Alvin Kamara. Lamarvel Universe left 26.9 points on the bench. And so he should have started Jamal Williams and Breece Hall over Aaron Jones and David Montgomery. Now, really quick, there's no way that he would have.
I maybe would have started Jamal Williams over David Montgomery.
David Montgomery is he's a starter for Chicago. And so, and obviously Khalil Herbert took off, and we'll talk about him later. But I
mean, true, he is a starter, but when you're not going anywhere for the entire game.
No. But the thing is, but he was fine, and then he got injured. That's the problem. That's the reason why David Montgomery didn't get as many points. It's because he got injured, and that's why Khalil Herbert got so many points. But that being said, Jamal Williams, why would you start Jamal Williams when you have DeAndre Swift?
Lamarvel doesn't have DeAndre Swift.
No. The only reason why Jamal Williams got any points is because DeAndre Swift got injured in that game. Is what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, okay, I agree.
Right.
I agree. Yeah,
that's what I mean. So I would. There's no way I would have started Jamal Williams or Breece Hall over Aaron Jones and David Montgomery. There's no way. But if he had, he would have beat better than Scott, astoundingly so. Heartbeat left 26.3 points on the bench. He should have started Kirk Cousins, T.J. Hawkinson, and Russell Gage over Patrick Mahomes, Justin Jefferson, and O.J. Howard. Not happening. There's no way that would happen. I would have absolutely. I mean, Mahomes over Cousins all day, every day. Maybe not all day, every day, but for the most part. Because the thing is, like, it looks like Kansas City is not doing as well as they used to. I mean, they're really missing Tyreek. Justin Jefferson, there's no way you put Russell Gage in over Justin Jefferson ever. Like, no matter how things play out, never, ever, ever. Like, even next week, not putting Russell Gage in over Justin Jefferson. But this is just what we're throwing out there. Let's Ride left 17.5 points on the bench. He should have started Tyler Boyd and James Cook over Tyreek Hill and Jerry Jeudy. Now, again, I don't know what's going on with Jerry Jeudy. I probably would have started him over, or I probably would have started Tyler Boyd over Jerry Jeudy. It doesn't look like Denver's doing very well. Russell is not cooking very well. Whatever he's cooking is stuff that even dogs wouldn't eat.
Unlimited.
So, yeah, exactly. Like, it's so crazy. But even if Let's Ride had started all the right guys, he still would have lost. There's no way he would have won. Because Heartbeat just doing really well. Obviously. So the Waterboys, I think, had the least amount of points on the bench, had 2.26. Yeah, just barely. 2.26 points on the bench. He could have started Mac Jones and Marvin Jones Jr. over Matt Ryan and Jamar Chase, but you're never doing that. Yeah, no. And I think Mac Jones is out for at least a week, if not more. I think he's injured. But you left 14.9 points on the bench. You should have started Isaiah McKenzie and Devin Duvernay over Rashad Bateman and James Conner. However, again, those are not. There's no way that you would do that. Maybe Devin Duvernay. Maybe you wouldn't start him over Rashad Bateman. There's no way. But over James Conner, maybe. Isaiah McKenzie also. The only reason why I think Isaiah McKenzie had so many more points than like Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs is strictly because that defense, the Miami defense, was honing in on Stephon Diggs and Gabe Davis. Do you want to talk about, did you have somebody who surprised you, or you want to talk about the people I chose?
How about the entire Miami team?
Mm.
The Bills. What is a strong term? Beating the Bills, winning against the Bills.
Yep.
They're 3-0. And the only other team that's 3-0 in all of the league is Philadelphia.
Philadelphia, yeah. Two teams that you would not have, like, at the beginning of the season, there's no way you'd be like, no, Miami, 3-0? What you smoking? Philly? No way, not having it. But Khalil Herbert was just astounding. 29.9 points. He had 20 attempts for 157 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns. He had 2 targets or 2 receptions for 12 yards. I mean, he is going to be the guy along with Jamal Williams. Jamal Williams is definitely somebody to pay attention to. The guy who surprised me the most in a bad way, Justin Jefferson. Like, I don't think he's, like, gone. I don't think there's going to be a problem. But it's just, like, he's had 2 really bad weeks. And it's just like, man. I mean, he is another world talent. Like, he's a great player and stuff. But it's just like, Jesus, that sucks. Heartbeat owns both the guy that surprised me the most and the guy that surprised in a good way, and then the one who surprised me the most in a bad way.
If we really talk about Heartbeat, like, he's picked up 2 of the last guys that he's picked up on waiver wire, just destroyed for him. So
yeah, who is that?
I'm very, very for Amari Cooper and Khalil Herbert.
Oh, okay. Oh, he did. Okay, so he did pick up Khalil Herbert. Yeah. I mean, it's just. I mean. Sometimes I think it's just kind of like a stroke of luck. Do you have somebody who surprised you in a good way or in a bad way?
I mean, let's just point out the fact that I just have the bestest luck with QBs. Can I get an amen on that?
I mean, it does. Yeah. I mean, even when you had Josh Allen, like, I think there were some issues, weren't there?
Yeah, he went down like the first 2 weeks or something. So I never even started him. I traded him away or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. You traded him away. Yeah. All right. Average difference of points. So in week 1, it was 19.36. This past week, week 3, it was 19.32. But in week 2, I don't know what happened, but the average difference in points was 35.9 points. So I don't know. Maybe we're due for, maybe it's like week 1, 19 points, like around 20 points. Week 2, 35. Week 3, 19. Week 4, 35. I don't know. Maybe that's what we'll be looking at. Who knows? So waiver wire looks. Andrew, why don't you take this away?
So I went with QB streamers. You had Jacoby Brissett. Well, maybe, but I'm thinking no, honestly.
Well, the reason why Jacoby Brissett
he's not consistent in my opinion.
The only reason why is because he's going against Atlanta, the Chargers, and the Steelers, and all three of those seem to have pretty weak defenses.
Well, that's true. I'm not saying that's not true, but what I'm saying is, you're going to have Jameis Winston, who's going up against Minnesota, who's been pretty bad, and Seattle, who's been pretty bad. And then you have, I would say, actually, Marcus Mariota has had such a consistent play. I mean, I think it was like 14, 13, 16 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Maybe, if that's right. And then they're going up against Cleveland, which gave Flacco 26 points was my reasoning, Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying he's the best, but hopefully he can get up there with Flacco. Who knows? Maybe not.
So wide receivers. Ooh, speaking of which, I actually need to put in did I don't even know if I put in for this guy. I need to put in for one of these. Let me see, because I need wide receivers.
I wouldn't put in for Mac. I'd put in for Romeo.
That's what I'm talking about. Is I'm going in.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, Mac maybe. I mean, he went from I think it was 0 then 8 and jumped way up there. This one I think is if I looked at it right. So maybe he levels out at 10. Maybe.
Well, and the thing is, it also depends on how Renfro is. Is he going to be there, or is there an issue? What's going on? That kind of stuff.
Maybe look at Josh Reynolds. He blew up in Detroit.
Yeah.
Running backs, I would just say as far as waiver wire, your top one would be the only one. If Mixon is out, it's Perrine.
Yeah. Samaje Perine is good. I mean, Mark Ingram, just because it looks like he's getting some looks and stuff like that, but
he's really not. Though.
But yeah, pretty much Samaje Perine is pretty much the only guy that's available on waivers that I would be interested in grabbing.
And then I put in tight ends there because you just totally skipped them.
I don't care. I got Mark Andrews. I'm good.
Njoku blew up. Disley steady
available?
2 of the 3 weeks. He had 10. Yeah, Njoku, I dropped him last. I dropped him for Everett.
Gerald Everett.
So Njoku had a killer week 3. Disley had a good week 1 and 3 at 11 and 10 or something like that. Mm-hmm. Week 2 he only had 1.5. Mm-hmm. Again, it's not great, but it's consistent.
Right.
The rookie tight end for the Colts name is Woods. Last name is Woods. He had a heck of a breakout game. 2 touchdowns, so many yards. I think he had 19 points or something like that. But I don't even know that any of the other tight ends were injured or out. It's just that's who they gave the ball to, I guess. I mean, I don't.
No, I mean, Wally Cox is another one that's out there. Jelani Woods is who you're talking about. Jelani Woods. Yeah, let's do possible trades. So I'm looking at Joe Mixon. Actually, I'm trying to attack Scott. That's 100%. Just because he's in need of stuff. And it's funny. So going into this, and we'll talk a little bit more about this when we get to possible trade partners. But I keep trying to send. I'll tell you what I did. I was going to send off 2 my really good players to get DeAndre Swift. I was really gunning for DeAndre Swift. I was like, man,
I bet you he's wishing he made all those trades a long time ago.
I know he's wishing he made those trades because I'm sitting there he canceled it. I did it. I sent him a trade. I think on Saturday. I was like, all right, Scott. I'm going to send you. I think I was going to send him Gabe Davis and another wide receiver Garrett Wilson or Al Lazard or somebody. I was like, I'll send you these guys for DeAndre Swift. Because I was Gabe Davis is my best wide receiver. I need some strength at running back. My wide receivers are great. My running back is pretty weak. And so I was here, I'll send you these. I just need a stronger running back. And he's no. I was okay, all right, that's fine, whatever. And then now looking at it, it's oh, Swift is gone, Mixon is gone. I'm ooh. So I might actually be trying to trade for Swift and Mixon again, even though they're injured, because trying to give him something that will be useful to him.
down the road, right.
Right. So, well, what about you? Any running backs you're looking at that you're interested in?
Running backs, no. What I might do is I might throw out a Cordero Patterson for somebody that might have like a nice quarterback and needs a running back. Wink, wink, hint, hint.
Are you trying to? Are you winking at hinting at somebody else, or are you winking and hinting at me?
No. I feel like you should understand that that's you.
Oh, well, do you want
man,
Do you want Tua?
Tua? No. What?
You need a quarterback.
I'm not giving you Cordero Patterson for Tua. I want Jalen Hurts.
Oh, I've got Jalen. Oh, that's right. I got Jalen Hurts. I don't know why I keep thinking I got Josh Allen. I don't know why I keep thinking that. Here's the thing. Yeah, well, because I got Josh Allen in another one in another league, and I was really proud of that one. And my Jalen Hurts is doing great, and I don't know why I just keep ignoring him in this league. Just like whatever. But anyway, so in relationship to that, like, so wide receiver wise, well, I'm looking to possibly trade for like Keenan Allen, maybe Michael Gallup. Michael Gallup started this past week, and he may actually be starting to get back into the rhythm of things. But then again, and Dak should be back in a couple weeks, and so I think Gallup and Dak will like once they're back together and working together.
I don't know if Dak might have started himself out of a lead position. I mean, Dak's in there first game and they lose, and then now Cooper Rush is in there and they've won the last 2 games. And
I don't but they invested money.
Almost like they've done literally push Dak and Zeke out of the way, and it seems like they're better off. And it's kind of like the whole Tony Romo thing too. Before that
another one. So I am looking to possibly trade to get Treylon Burks.
Hey, guess what?
But not for Jalen Hurts. Not even worth. If you want to, if you want to give me JT and Treylon Burks for my Jalen Hurts, I'll give you that all day long, buddy.
Jonathan Taylor and Treylon Burks.
Yeah. He ain't been doing squat for you.
You gonna throw another player on top of that?
I might throw another player on top of that. Jalen Hurts and maybe what do you need? You need what other position you need?
Tight end.
You wish.
It's worth a shot.
That's worth a shot. Yeah.
I don't know. I think you should just hold fast. Honestly, I mean, you don't have a horrible team. I mean,
well, the thing is, so
you could get rid of the 2 handicaps you're holding on to, and then I mean, you have every other starter, and then it's like it's really not that bad, honestly.
I mean, the thing is
I would just hold fast. I mean, you actually won a game this last week. You know, you might be on the up and up.
Well, but the thing is I didn't win by much, and on top of that, I want to keep my team being relevant. I want to capitalize. So the thing about trading, and the reason why I'm looking at possible trade partners is because part of it when you're trading, especially if you're in a higher position. So being 2-1 is great. But I'm also looking at Biggest Loser. I'm looking at Better Than Scott. I'm looking at Scott's Tots, the Waterboys, Schrute Farms. I'm looking at some of their best players and seeing if I could give them some of my good players that actually produce versus their crappy players that they can use, but then also getting a valuable asset for my team. And so, for instance, looking at Biggest Loser, he needs running backs. Eckler has not been doing him any good at all. Better Than Scott. First off, Better Than Scott has way too many New Orleans players. I think he's got 4 New Orleans players, maybe 5. He's got Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara, Chris Olave, and then there was another one that he had that I'm just why do you have all of these? That's just way too many. And also, Better Than Scott. Listen to me. I want you to be better than Scott, okay? Because Scott won last year. I don't want him to repeat. I want you to be better than him, okay? Why on earth do you still have OBJ on your bench? He hasn't signed with anybody. Let him go. Add somebody else to your group, please. Anyway, enough being said about that.
He does
Looking
have
at
a lot
Scott's
of
Tots,
Orleans.
go ahead.
Wow.
What?
So he's nothing but New Orleans, doesn't he?
Right, man. I'm telling you, I don't know why. Like, so I'm trying to like trade with him. He said no to my like trade. I think I wanted to get like Alvin Kamara for. They was giving him like some of my wide receivers because again, I'm pretty stacked at wide receiver, but pretty wimpy at running back. And I need some better running back. But Scott's Tots needs wide receivers and a good QB, but he doesn't seem to be willing to trade except for with Schrute Farms, which is hilarious to me because it's just the 0-3 team trading with the 0-3 team, and they're just sending crappy players back and forth. They're like, here you go. You want my crap? Here, you can have my crap. I'll take your crap. Oh, thank you for your crap. Let me give you my crap. Here you go. Crap and crap and crap. And it's just like, guys, like trade with the people who actually have decent players. Like, be willing to trade those. Like, and the worst part now is that, like, I'm going to go into Scott's Tots and I'm just going to try and get, again, like either a Joe Mixon or a DeAndre Swift. He can't use them for a couple of weeks. They're both out. And like I can sustain, I can handle, taking on a potential like losing streak on the running backs because of the fact that I'm doing okay. I'm doing decent right now. I'm not 0-3. Waterboys really needs running backs. Devin Singletary and Damian Harris both had decent weeks, but I mean that's not always going to happen. Because again, like Singletary, the only reason why Singletary and McKenzie got any play is because Diggs and Davis was coming back from an injury. Diggs was covered, probably double teamed a lot, and so I think that you're going to see that shift away from Singletary and more toward the wide receivers and stuff. Harris, I mean, he's okay, but it's New England. You're never sure if they're gonna continue doing great running backs and continue using them. And then Schrute Farms just needs running backs like hardcore, just really bad. And so yeah. These are guys to possibly trade with. These are the lower end of our league. But that's the thing, is like if you want to come back from an 0-3 start, you've got to be willing to trade, make some like serious crazy trades. Like not shooting yourself in the foot, of course, you want to get something good out of it, but like you can get two really good players for a great player. But if you're not willing to trade, then you're just gonna be stuck. That kind of thing. But the other thing too is to think about it like this. The reason why like I don't want to just sit, that's the problem. Is like if you just sit and you don't do anything, at some point in time somebody might get injured. At some point in time, somebody maybe gets replaced. At some point in time, they're not doing as great. Like right now, if I can capitalize on how good McCaffrey's doing, like maybe trade McCaffrey, somebody great, for two decent running backs, right? Now, me personally, I don't want to necessarily trade running backs because I'm in need of running backs, but with like my wide receivers, like being willing to give up Gabe Davis or being willing to give up Curtis Samuel. Although it's funny because like nobody wants Curtis Samuel, even though he's been like a double-digit like fantasy producer for the past 3 weeks. Nobody wants him, and I'm like, guys, like I like.
I'll take him and Jalen Hurts for Jonathan Taylor and Burks.
You would take Curtis Samuel and Jalen Hurts for Jonathan Taylor and who?
Traylon Burks.
Traylon Burks.
I found this margin of defeat, smallest margin of defeat, heartbeat to versus QB misery, 0.14.
Is that like league wide? Is that like the whole like?
That's for the whole. Yeah. So this year it says single week it's 1.24. Scott's Tots lost to the Lamarvel universe. All time it's me versus QB or heartbeat by 0.14, and I'm like, oof. I'm so glad I'm not like all this all-time losses. Let's see, most losses all time. London Silly Nannies and Biggest Loser are tied at 12.
Do you see why Biggest Loser has the name Biggest Loser?
Yeah, I see it. It's pretty rough. Pretty rough.
Like I went and I looked at those before, like at the very beginning of the year, and I was like, oh, okay, like he's got a bunch of losses. Like, okay, I understand why he's the Biggest Loser. That makes sense. In closing, something that I want to kind of present to our league, guys, listen, and just for anybody who plays fantasy football, like and this one is a big shout out to Scott and Cody, because you guys are 0-3 right now. Here's what needs to happen. Scott, you've lost out on your good running backs. You've got to be willing to trade them away in order to get any kind of like benefit, and you're not gonna get a lot for them. You're not gonna get anywhere near as much as you would have towards like last week or the week before. Like, there's no way I would be willing to give you like Gabe Davis and Devonta Smith, who are my two top performers. There's no way I'd be willing to give you those for an injured Joe Mixon. Okay, at least maybe not. I might, maybe, but the idea is like you're gonna have to make those trades. Okay. Cody, I know you don't want to get rid of Saquon Barkley, but trust me when I say, if you want to get some good assets, like better RBs, or not better, because you got one really good RB and the rest are like, eh. If you really want to trade that, you've got to be willing to get rid of your best players. Okay, I know it doesn't make sense, but obviously you want to trade really smartly. You don't want to like just give like you don't want to give Andrew Saquon Barkley for Treylon Burks. You don't want to do that, right? You'd rather give Saquon Barkley
actually, I feel like you do want to do that.
I mean, Andrew would love for you to do that, but that's not a smart trade. You want to do smart trades, but the thing is, you're not going to get top tier guys. I don't care when you drafted Saquon Barkley. Doesn't matter. What you've got to look at is you have a 3-0 team. You've got a bunch of 2-1 teams. They're doing better than you are, and so you've got to be willing to trade some stuff for them. Stop trading back and forth between yourself. Because, again, you guys are just sending garbage back and forth between each other. Like Travis Kelce, yeah, good tight end. Okay, you gave him, you gave him Joe Mixon. Okay, cool. But there's a problem now. It's like just Joe Mixon and Travis Kelce are just swapping out his junk for your junk. And so what I'm saying is, and the thing is like, yes, you can wait and hope that the waiver wire comes to you. Absolutely, 100%. You can absolutely do that. But in order to like get back on track, in order to prevent yourself from going 0-4, 0-5, or 1-12, 1-13, or whatever it may be, you've got to be willing to make those trades. And I know it looks terrible, especially this like now that you're 0-3 and you're like the one bright spot. I got to trade them in order to get other things. Yeah, because you've got two good spots filled up versus one great spot. Those two good spots can get you more points versus that one great running back or one great wide receiver. You've got to be willing to make those trades. Just letting you know. Just saying. Andrew, anything else you want to say for the peeps? No. Good to go? All right.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you are watching on YouTube, click that subscribe button. Leave us a comment below. Tell us some kind of crazy trades that you've had to deal with in the past. Tell us how you're doing 3 weeks into the fantasy football season. Let us know. Don't worry about clicking the bell. Just click the like button because it helps the algorithm spread. Apparently, the bell doesn't really do much, from what I've heard. If you are listening on your podcasting app, make sure that you subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review. Tell us what you like about fantasy football, or tell us what you've liked about our podcast if you happen to be listening to something else. I'm
tell
Nick.
us what you don't like too. I like
tell
that
us
too.
Well, as long as you leave us a 5-star review and tell us what you don't like, that's fine. I'm Nick.
I'm Andrew.
And as always,
you have an open invitation to our demonstration of how a conversation should end up, but it doesn't ever go that way. So welcome.
Bye-bye.